If you're looking at getting into dry herb vaping, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of coin jumping in, I have the perfect vaporizer for you. In this box here is the brand spanking new LINX Saber. Hi there, hello, how are you? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day so far. Today, me and you, we're going to get down and dirty with the brand new LINX Saber. Now, even though this is my very first review with LINX, they've actually been around for years. They're one of the OG vaporizer brands, so they do actually know what they're talking about. And this device comes with some interesting components and a super low price point. It's $60. Let's just keep that in mind while we're going through review. It's $60 for a dry herb vape. For a dry herb vape of this magnitude. We are going to have a lot of fun with this today. Before we jump in though, if you like these kinds of videos, please consider hitting subscribe, like, comment. Any of those things help the channel an absolute ton. I do all sorts of things from vlogging adventures to Canatech reviews, and I think I'm the only female here on YouTube doing Canatech reviews. It's a very male dominated field. So I really appreciate you being here, hanging out with me. But if you're not new here, then you already know how we do Canatech reviews. First, we are going to unbox this thing, get a nice close look up at everything. Then we are going to sesh through all the features, undoubtedly the best part of the video. And in the end, we are going to clean it. At the end of this video, you are going to know anything and everything there is to know about the LINX Saber. Let's go. The box is going to come with everything you need to use and maintain this device. The user manual, like most, offers very basic information, but we're going to cover absolutely everything here today, so you're going to be confident when you get this in your mitts. This is the Saber device itself, and this is the glass stem with integrated herb chamber. Over here in the accessories box, you get 4 replacement O-rings, a cleaning brush, and a USB to USB-C charging cable. We also have this extra glass bubbler attachment to test out today. Getting a little cozier and up close, this is a solid device with metal housing and build quality far exceeding its price point. It has 1 main button and 4 LED light indicators. The bottom has the USB-C charging port, but the real innovation is up here in the heating chamber. Unscrew this protective sleeve and you'll see the heating element is nothing like we've seen before. This is a convection vaporizer, meaning it'll use hot air to heat the herb and extract the cannabinoids. These holes right here pull the hot air in from the battery base, and it will exit through these holes into the herb in the glass heating chamber. It's easily replaceable, and it screws back on with a 510 threaded base and is covered with this protective sleeve. The glass stem holds the herb. It comes with a mesh screen to prevent any small bits from getting up into the stem and potentially in your mouth, but these glass nubs also help to prevent that, as well as aid in cooling the vapor. And since this is something I would lose lickety-split, I just don't use it, and I haven't felt the need to. Welcome back. Now we are on to the very best part of the video, the sesh. We're going to sesh through all the features here. I'm going to be enjoying myself a little sunset sherbet THCA flower from Via. I rolled up some of these and I smoked them at the Incubus concert the other day, and holy hell, hold on, sidetrack for a second. Did all of you know that Brandon Boyd is so freaking hot? Like, I knew he was attractive, but holy hell, that man is fucking gorgeous. I took too many videos of him. My husband saw me zooming in on the screen. Holy smokes, that guy is hot. It was a really good show. It was kind of a weird show, I'll be honest. It was at a big arena, but I don't think Incubus can really push big arenas anymore. What they should do is stick to like the outside venues. Those are the ones that are just, they're so much more fun. You can smoke so much more without getting in any trouble. Oh, do you want to see? She's a cute little fatty. By the way, the manual doesn't say what kind of grind to put in it. You could put fine, medium, or coarse, like a chunky grind. What is actually going to work best? I pushed a whole lot of bowls through this, and what I found that I like best is closer to a medium grind. So I actually switched out the plate in, I know if you've been here for a second, you know that I use the Hoy because it's a fine grind for all of my dry herb vaping, but this one, this is the medium, and this I tend to like a little bit more because it is a convection based vape. If it's too fine, it's gonna come up through the vape, and then it also sticks. It's dirty right now. We're gonna clean it in the end though, okay? When it's too fine, it sticks a lot to the edges right there and doesn't vaporize as well. But when it's too coarse, then you're not really fitting very much in here at all. So what I found to be perfect was a regular old grind that you would get from any standard grinder. Any grinder that you have at home is already perfect for this. This is the texture that we're looking for. You don't see whole leaf chunks in there, but it's not fine. You don't see any dust in there either, but you do see a hella dirty grinder because I have still yet to have ever cleaned this grinder. It's super duper easy to load. You don't have to touch anything with your fingers. Just lightly pass it through the herb in your grinder. Don't smash it down in or pack it. You just want it to be loosey-goosey in there. Fill it about 3/4 of the way, leaving space for the heating element base to fit in. This should have gone on it first, but I wanted you to see how it like fit in with the heating element there, but that is the little protective sleeve that prevents you from hitting that heating element, and this part right here gets really hot. Now that it's all packed, let's get to ripping. You're going to do 5 quick clicks. to turn it on, it's gonna start pulsating a blue light. That's how you know that it's heating up. It's heating up right away. So you gotta have this thing ready to go as soon as you turn it on. 3 quick clicks to change the heat settings, and it's all very common sense here. The more LEDs that are lit up, the more lit you'll be because it's a higher temp and you're gonna get more vapor. 1 light is 374 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 is 410 degrees, 3, 428 degrees, and 4 is 446 degrees. It matches my nails so well. All right, so when it's green, it means it's ready to go. Dry herb vaporizers, they don't provide very much vapor right off the get. You do kind of need to put a little bit of heat through it to start cooking that herb, but you're not gonna get super dense hits right off the get. It's gonna take a couple of hits. First hit is still surprisingly good. I'm starting off on level 4, the top of the top, 446 degrees. It provides great flavor, but also the best clouds, obviously, that this vape could give us. Of course, with lower temps, you're gonna get smoother, softer, tastier vapor that would be easier for a new dry vapor user to handle. But if you can rip it, I'm gonna suggest you rip it on this one. That is crazy. Out of a $60, I don't know how this is only $60. Like, you have all the technology, you have a lot of technology. You don't have as many options as a higher priced vape, and it doesn't hit as hard as a higher priced vape with maybe a different kind of heating element, heating system, a little bit more intuitive. Convection, I personally love because, especially as a beginner, you run the risk of overcooking it inside the dryer vape. It sucks. It smells like earth mixed with dog shit, and it doesn't taste great either. A convection vaporizer like this isn't going to run the risk of doing that to you. So this is going to have a lot better smell, a lot better taste for a lot longer. Of course, you do need to clean it because it is going to get dirty and things are going to roast and roast and roast if you're not cleaning it in between, but they stay and smell cleaner for a whole heck of a lot longer than conduction. That's the other option. If you're not getting a convection vape, you're getting a conduction one or a hybrid. They also have like infrared and different types of technologies depending on the brand, but this is my personal favorite. I love a purely convection vape. And actually, let's take a peek at this. Also, be careful because this glass tip is hot, so don't just like start touching it. That's one of the benefits to being able to load something like this without even having to touch the herb. So I'm gonna give it a little stir in there to get up the stuff from the edges that wasn't touching the heating element. We're not gonna get a whole heck of a lot more out of this, but then we'll repack it and we'll use it with the bubbler. You know what we forgot to talk about? The burn off cycle and charging the battery. So whenever you get any brand new device, first thing you need to do is plug it in, get a full charge. It's the best for the battery's longevity. You want this for the long term, right? Then without the mouthpiece attached, you're going to turn it on and run it at the hottest temperature for the longest sesh time, and that way you kind of just sanitized the entire device. But this device also, what's so kind of crazy is I'd never really even considered this, is that the entire air path is toxin free. There are no heavy metals, fibers, plastics, paints, or anything like that anywhere in the vapor path. They actually send all of their vaporizers out for third-party lab testing. That's something that I'm usually talking about for edibles, but third-party lab tested to be toxin free. This is a solid device. Usually at this price point, you're seeing a whole heck of a lot of plastic, but they only use medical grade stainless steel, glass mouthpieces, and then also ceramic or quartz glass heating chambers and plates only. It's so important, but what's crazy is it's not even anything that we have a conversation about on the regular. Like, I had no clue that there could be toxins in the air path, in the heating element, that I could be inhaling toxins with my dry herb vape. Knowing that this one is safe, that's good. All right, let's see what else we can squeeze out of this herb. It's probably not even going to be a full sesh, probably just a couple of hits, and then we're gonna test out the bubbler. Just a quick tip here, the best way to hit a dry herb vape is a long, slow inhale, aiming for about 10 seconds. The first few hits, you're not gonna get much vapor, but subsequent hits will get heavier until either your sesh times out or you start to lose vapor and your bowl is actually cached. All right, that one has definitely cashed us out. Let's take a peek at it. You can see in there, nice and deeply roasted. Because I did it on the higher temperature, you can see all along the edge. After stirring it, you get the full even roast. I do realize you do usually get at least 1.5, even 2 or up to 3 if you're doing like a lower temperature seshes out of one bowl, because this holds an absolute ton of herb. And then you stir it in between the seshes and it's like you revived it. Let's get that bubbler attachment, shall we? Okay, fine, you've convinced me. All right, now this is an add-on. It's not something that actually comes with the vaporizer, but since it fits all of the LINX vaporizers, it could be something that you might want to invest in. It's only $20, but it's a glass bubbler and it's even longer, it looks like. Yeah, it is way longer than the mouthpiece that it comes with. So I expect this to make it a lot easier of a hit on my throat, because dry herb vapes can be dry. It can feel pretty dry on your throat. I'm just a water whore though. I love a water pipe and I get so bummed when a dry herb vape it doesn't have like a water pipe attachment or a bubble or something like this. This is so freaking big. There's no instructions, but it did come with 4 O-rings. Am I supposed to stick an O-ring inside? Because these are not the same O-rings that are on the on this. They're fatter and they also seem smaller, and it wouldn't make sense if they, right? Would it make sense? I looked everywhere. I can't actually find the answer. There's no instructions. It's not on the site, but I think I figured out what these are. I think these are adapters for something that's not what we have today. We don't need them. First, we're going to fill this up with water, just a little. Ooh, is that good? I swear I'm destined to break glass today. It's gonna happen before the end of the day. It's a little much. To get the water out of these, if you don't know the secret, you blow into it. Perfection. Okay, you don't want your herb to get all wet. So if you blow it out the bottom because you need some adjustment, make sure you clean out the little chamber there. Just gonna reload it. Wow, this one fits even more. Wow, that's kind of crazy. All right, there we go. We're gonna drop it down to 1 there and see if this thing can actually push out any clouds. This should be the coolest, tastiest, smoothest vapor that you could ever have. It's all taste. You can see the vapor like dancing around in there, but you can't see it at all on the exhale. I don't really feel like I'm getting a whole heck of a lot on the lowest setting. A whole lot of taste, but not a whole lot of vapor there. Let's kick it up to the top. That little screen that came with the stem, the mouthpiece, I would use in here instead because it is pulling a little bit of herb bits up in there. Dang it. I got distracted. I let that sit in too long. Now I got to try to explain to you the rest of this stuff. We got to talk about the battery. We still got to clean this thing. Oh my God. What can I say about it? It's 2200 milliamp battery. That's why it's so dang big. It's actually a pretty impressively sized battery for this device. It does get a little bit hot, like I said, up towards here. I think it's radiating heat from like the heating element, of course, but then also some from the battery up here. But I just hold it a little bit lower. I never find myself just like manhandling it like this, in which case it would probably feel really hot. It does get about 10 to 18 sessions out of it, depending on your temp before it needs to get charged again. And from what I've noticed, it takes about 1 hour to charge 1000 milliamps. So this is 2200 milliamps. It takes just about 2 to 2.5 hours to get it charged up from dead. I do believe it has pass-through charging. I plugged it in, but I'm not willing to try. I just feel like that's a dangerous thing to do, to hit the vape while it's plugged into the wall. For some reason, I can't get past it, but it heated up and I believe it operated like normal. I just didn't take any hits off of it, but what I couldn't tell is if it was actually charging still. And you could tell the battery life by turning it on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 1. That's almost dead. It will also tell you again when you turn it off. See, there you go, battery life indicator. So it's all very common sense. 1 is gonna be 25% or less battery, 2 is about 50%, 3 is 75%, and 4 would be a 100% fully charged battery. But if it's dead, if the battery is dead, it's gonna flash red at you. Now, if it flashes yellow at you, that's a whole other thing. Red is fine because red means it's operating as normal. You just need to charge it because you killed the battery. Yellow means that there's something wrong with the heating element. And when I forgot. I just forgot I had that full. When the heating element here isn't fully seated, like if it's popped off a little bit, yeah, what it'll do is flash yellow at you like that and turn itself off until you reseat it. Now, if I was to give any critiques on this, I would love some way, because this is a 510 attachment down here, to like lock the atomizer in. I don't know. I don't actually think that there's any technology like that. This is my issue. Let me show you real quick. And it's a personal issue, and it's something that I definitely could fix. It's not anything that needs to change on the device. But when I take this glass off, I don't just pull it straight down. I pull it slowly, like I twist it slowly out. That's just, it's a bit more controlled. I'm less likely to spill things. But I tend to twist to the left, and when you twist to the left, the way that the O-rings are holding onto the glass, it twists the atomizer out too, so then it throws yellow flashes. But then all you need to do is twist again, back righty-tighty, and you're golden again. It's really not that big of an issue. Also, another critique I would give it is a stirring tool, because I do feel like a stirring tool is necessary. I didn't expect there to be one in here for a $60 device, but I probably would have traded out the brush for a stirring tool. I can get that clean with a Q-tip and some alcohol. The brush is nice. The brush definitely does help. It keeps it cleaner for longer, but a stirring tool would be so sweet. And I honestly cannot complain about this being a 510 attachment, because it's like, it makes it something that'll last you for a really long time. The coil is gonna go out more often than the battery unless you have a faulty battery. Of course, there's a 1-year limited warranty against that, but the heating element itself, depending on how often you use it and how often you might need to replace it, it's only $10. And it comes with the O-rings. And I'm not sure, if you were to ask me, maybe you are asking me, do I think that that little rod that's going into the center is better than other convection vapes? I don't know. I'm still on the fence on this one, because I feel like this one tasted leaps and bounds better than basically any other dryer vape. Definitely any vape under like the $100 mark, because those are usually a little rough and tough. This is actually flavorful. It was a nice, enjoyable sesh, and it doesn't stink. I have yet to clean it. We're about to do that though. Let's do that. To clean the Saber, wait for it to cool first. Remove the glass stem, protective sleeve, and heating element, setting the battery base out of the splash zone. These parts can all be soaked in ISO, except the O-rings. But why use all that ISO when a few sprays and a cotton swab works just fine? I hit all the parts with some alcohol spray, let them sit about 1 minute, then attacked with an alcohol-soaked cotton swab, rinse clean, let dry, and reassembled. It's really that easy. Listen, friends, we need to wrap this up because I'm barely holding myself together at this point. I'm hanging on by a thread. I do believe that that is anything and everything that you need to know about the brand spanking new LINX Saber. This has been a whole lot of fun to hang out with. Huge shout out to LINX for sending this my way, and also the bubbler attachment. That's hella appreciative. Replaceable coil, larger chamber, haptic feedback. 3 things that I don't really see. I'm not sure if there's any vaporizer under $100 that could beat the capacity of this one. Of course, I'll have more information for them down below in the pinned comment. Also, a huge shout out to all my patrons for making videos like this possible. You guys are all rock stars. If you're still here, you should be subscribed. Double check down there, just make sure, because sometimes YouTube unsubscribes people. If they're inactive, or if they think that they're like a spam account in any way, which I don't know what determines a spam account. But if they think you're commenting too much, perhaps that's it. That's everything that I have for you all today. Thanks for hanging out. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hold up. It took until I was entirely done filming to figure out that I think this is supposed to look like a lightsaber, when I thought saber meant saber-toothed tiger. Nope.